Shine bright up all night. We're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes. We're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only a day. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold. A mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. Everyone is in bed probably. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is well. I was going to go to bed and then I thought, I'll go live. I'll go live. See what everyone's doing. It's 12:30 here. What a day. Happy Easter. I know it's almost Easter. Today is Good Friday. Good Friday. One of the holiest days of the year. You're glad I did, Michelle? Good. Nobody can sleep. Well, okay. So, oh, thank you for the thank you. My Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty. I thought we could talk about some of this video. So, by the way, by the way, um, I know it's late. I know it's late. Thank you, Blue Eyes. Um, Seth said that he saw You got your Diet Coke. I can't look at the chat and talk, guys. Seth said that he saw Sebastian and Katie leave the steakhouse in the video outside. What'd you say, Betty? Got your Diet Coke? What is the AF? What do you mean AF? What do you mean AF? I don't understand. I just woke up and you started LOL. Oh. ESP. I don't know what you mean. ESP. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it's late. Yeah. I can't believe I'm up. I can't believe this is not usually me, but I thought we could talk about some things. So make sure that you are subbed to our friend Trev Time. Trev is as good as they get in this world. Wonderful, wonderful person. I'm falling asleep, but sent you my thoughts. No worries. All right, let's go. Let's go. First of all, Nina is, we support her. I wholeheartedly believe Nina. Wholeheartedly. Absolutely believe her. And she's like really traumatized by this. It's apparent. This woman is naturally traumatized. Can you imagine living with Chris? Oh my god. And all the things that she told. All the things that she's told. Can you imagine this happening to someone with special needs? Right, Anna? Yeah. Yes, this man terrorized this woman and her children. He knew this was coming out, by the way. Chris knew this was coming out. And almost until the last moment, he was calling people he knows, Trevor, all of us, wanting to talk. Nobody answered him, though. Nobody answered him. I'm subscribed from a couple channels tonight. They seem to be siding with Chris. I just don't understand. I don't get it either. I don't get it either. I mean, nobody has said they're guilty, right? We're saying, and Nina is saying, based upon, nobody knows you like your ex-wife, right? Nobody knows you like your ex-husband. Now, please don't put the channel names in here. Just please don't put channel names. And You know, it's concerning that a 15-year-old autistic child, for half of his life, y'all, half of this child's life, lived with this. It had to be miserable. I wonder about Katie. Now, I wonder if she, like, I'm not giving her a pass by any stretch. I want to be clear on that. But I wonder if she is just so brain. No wonder she had to drink. I mean, hell, who wouldn't drink around this guy? I don't know. I don't know. It's confusing. I've heard that the last few months of their relationship, right, Amy, was very turbulent. And I've also wondered, now I'm kind of thinking, oh, I need to say thank you for these. Hold on, guys. Cassie, thank you. The life insurance policy Katie and Seth had on Sebastian was Gerber Life. Seth told, yeah. Cassie, Gerber grow it's for, yes, yeah, yes, it is. Oh, I made a new video. I need to, I'll show it to you in a little bit. But yeah, Katie has to be suffering through Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. Like, I have a little bit more compassion for Katie. This is from Trev Time. Mods, please put Trev Time. It's in the description for the replay as well. Hey, honey, this pic is the Not Proud Footed Barbecue restaurant eating Katie. The pic of the Not Proud Feet at barbecue restaurant eating Katie had a brand new shoe. I zoomed in. I have been thinking, did she ditch her shoes in his? I don't know, but I wonder, what I wonder now is if she did something or he did something for them to be back together. Is that a possibility? But then I think, well, why didn't she just give him to her, to Seth? I still think someone snapped. I just do. I think someone snapped for whatever reason, whether he wasn't going to bed in time, he wasn't cleaning his room. I just don't know. Just don't know. Stephanie, thank you, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Here, let me show you guys a video. I haven't done my super sticker yet, but I made a video for gifting memberships. Look at this. Watch this.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
The lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, cool. All right, let's watch some of this. I know y'all have watched like it 3 times this evening, but I don't know. I can't sleep after this, y'all. Like, I really can't sleep after this. This is bad. This is really bad.
Website. Don't know what I was doing there, I guess. I wish I could take it back.
Let me fast forward some of this.
Aggressive. And I stood up for my kids all the time. I didn't like how he, like I said, how he talked to them, how he...
Chris talks really aggressive, in my opinion, sarcastic, in my opinion, because I'm the one that pointed this out. Whenever Chris was talking, he used, remember, what did he say about Sebastian? He made like a child's voice, and he's like, right, Sebastian. Brash. Yes, brash. That's a good word. He's very condescending. My theory is Sebastian is moving in with his dad this summer, and they got scared he would tell what was going on. Now he is missing. Interesting. Now, I also, one of my things is I kind of feel like, in my opinion, theory, Chris was home, wasn't supposed to be. He was, being, something happened between Chris and Sebastian. Chris got mad, and Sebastian may have said, "You're not supposed to be here," because the CPS investigation that happened started at the end of January. Seth had to leave the 1st of February. Or they was afraid that there was a CPS investigation, and they was afraid what Sebastian might say. Perhaps. But I think he was there. In my opinion, I believe he was there. I believe he was there, if not at... I mean, why stay on... Who stays on the phone 3 hours every single night? Who? Who stays on the phone every single night? In my opinion, Chris was home and got into an argument with Sebastian and hurt Sebastian. Mom's seen it happen. She's covering for Chris. You see, I feel, Courtney, for both of them to not say something, I feel like it has to serve them both. Usually, if a mother just, their stepdad hurts their kid, the mom's going to hurt the stepdad, right? You're not going to hurt my kid. So I feel like there has to be something that is benefiting them both. Unless she is so brainwashed. Thank you, Summer. Unless she is so brainwashed that we're scared. But I feel like out of everything, it has to be something to the effect of it has to benefit them both. So she was sending Sebastian to Seth so she could keep. Oh, I mean, we don't, Julie, we don't know that. I mean, and even Chris said, it took a lot of talking, but they came to an agreement of him going there. I don't think I mean, I believe Katie loves Sebastian, but something is in the way. Something is in the way. And she's yeah. Already own. Am I timed out? Tried to send a super sticker and said I already own this, but not showing. You already own this. Honey, I don't know. YouTube is so weird. I didn't even get a notification for my own channel. It usually tells me it sends a notification, so I don't even know. It's I don't even know. We'll see.
Wanted them to stand in the corner all the time, and I didn't like that. So I stayed a little bit longer.
I absolutely
I ended
believe
up
it.
eventually getting pregnant with Faith.
Absolutely believe that Snickerdoodle. He doesn't want Faith around Sebastian. I agree with that. Thank you, T Mac. Maybe he was fighting with his wife and he did something to punish her. Gotcha. Then said if she told, he would flip the narrative. I've seen men like that. They make you crazy and exhausted. Perhaps. Perhaps. I mean, there is nothing that would surprise me, guys. And the thing is about Chris, in my opinion, and members around him, I believe they will do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I believe Sebastian is hit good. Hey, PG. Happy Easter. But I'm telling you guys, I feel really bad about Chris going back like the next day and getting that motorhome. Feel really bad about that. That eight, whatever what's it called, a fifth wheel. I and then them going back again. I don't like that. Seth will say Chris was out of town. Sure will. Thank you, Yaya. When they said they didn't take pictures of Sebastian, I know. I thought of yes, yes. So let me tell you something about my opinion of Chris, and Nina states it too. Thank you, Jay. You have to unsub and resub to get notification. There's a glitch sometimes. You only get the most recently sub channels. It's so weird, isn't it? Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. shit, I'm muted. Sorry. Chris said that he didn't want to take pictures with Sebastian because of how he looked. Well, Chris, in my opinion, is an extremely materialistic person. He tries to be, what do they call him? Hyper males. What are they called? Hyper males. Like a, what do they call him? It's like it's like a hyper male, where everything's, you know, like really alpha, like an alpha, yeah. Alpha male. But it's more than an alpha male. It's an alpha male on steroids. He doesn't like, and go look at his profile. I forgot to send those to my email. Go look at his profile. This man, oh my God. He's got little man syndrome. Yeah, I think he's got Napoleon syndrome. Egomaniac, that's a good word, Annette. Yeah. But if you are not in my opinion, a rich or, well-to-do, not rich necessarily, white, straight male, he's not going to like you. And you have to be just that. He doesn't want anything to, I don't even believe he likes women, to be honest with you. I don't think he likes anybody. I just don't think he likes anybody. I think he's got woman issues. He doesn't like anybody, in my opinion, that's different than him. And it goes to show all over his profile. All over his profile. And I believe he did not want Sebastian around because of that. And that just breaks my heart for Sebastian. You know how I was talking the other day? I said, I have not seen one photo of Chris and Sebastian. He's lived half of Sebastian's life. They've known each other 6 years. Why? It's your stepson. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not taking a picture with your stepson? I did say that, didn't I, Arctic? Yes, I did. And bam, she said it tonight. In my opinion, it just didn't. I can't even talk about it, y'all. Oh my God. That broke my heart too, Heidi. Just him saying that he didn't, because he looked funny or didn't take good pictures or something. I forget what it was. What an evil son of a bitch. God makes every one of us. God does not make a mistake on how we look, who we are, what color we are, where we come from. None of that matters. God doesn't make junk. FYI, Chris. So Chris wasn't in Sebastian's life as long as we thought. Faith 6 years. Katie will tell you that her and Chris were not together while she was with Seth at the end of their relationship. Okay.
And it was probably, I want to say, maybe
They
early
certainly did.
September that I found out that I was pregnant with Faith.
Yep.
And I remember telling him that I was pregnant, and he wasn't happy about it. So I called my parents back home here in Albuquerque, and I told them the situation. And I said,
SL, you're exactly right. He had no tolerance for Sebastian's autism. In my opinion, Chris can't get past himself long enough. He can't even understand himself that others may not think the way he thinks, may not understand the way he understands, may not feel the same way he feels. He got irritated, in my opinion. Green-eyed PI. I think this is where he got it from, in my opinion. Even before, when I first started talking about this case, before I even knew who she was, they said, someone very close, a source, said, "Oh, you just wait. You know where he got it from. His mom." And I was like, really? I think he was taught this, a very materialistic lifestyle. You know, I mean, look how in depth they are. Yeah, they make great money, but obviously they're in so much debt. Just bukus. It's about showing people, right? It's about showing that I own this house. Keeping up with the Joneses. Yes. Hmm. Yep.
well, Christopher wants me to get an abortion with Faith.
That's sad. That's sad because, you know, her daughter has, she's very young. And just seeing the way your dad has talked about you, even before you were born, it's terrible.
And my parents said, no, you're not. And I said, I'm not. So I know he was very upset about me keeping Faith at that point in time. So I came home. My grandma had gotten very sick, and I decided to come home. And after that, I just kind of stayed here in New Mexico because at that time we weren't getting along and we were just like newlyweds, and that should have never happened. And but I saw things, like I said, that were just it wasn't right about him. So I moved home and I did my whole pregnancy by myself. And so I finally, my friends back there in California, my neighbors right across the street were actually calling me. I had one good friend, which is still a really good friend of mine to this day. She called me and said, Nina, Christopher's getting rid of your furniture and getting rid of your stuff.
That's something, forgive me, women, but that's something a woman does, right? Gets rid of your shit. But Chris, he's out there handing people's her furniture out while she's pregnant with this kid. You can tell she's a good mother. She is a good mother, a strong person. Yeah, Ramona, I'm glad she has a good support system now. I'm glad. She's had to be strong, and I know a lot of people have had to be strong for their children, for whatever reason, for a multitude of reasons. But I believe faith has made Nina stronger than she ever thought she was. And that's exactly right, Allie. They don't play by the rules. And right? Think of the trauma that this man has caused to other people. What makes him like this? Just angry.
And I was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, he's giving away like your little, your home decor stuff. Like he's giving away beds. And I was like, no way. So and this was about Easter time. So I had went out there. I made a special trip. I asked my mom to go with me, and Isabella and Noah, they went with me, and I was still pregnant with Faith at the time. So we made it. I didn't tell him that we were going out there, so I kind of wanted to see myself, because the neighbor also informed me that there was people at the house that shouldn't have been there. So I guess I kind of wanted to sneak up on him and see what he was doing, right?
What is she insinuating something there? There was other people at the house that shouldn't be? You know what I mean? Like, is he...
And we pulled up into the driveway, or into the driveway, and he was coming out the front door
Mhm.
with a bed that he was giving to the neighbor, which was my son's bed.
Oh my
As
God.
soon
Giving away... You know something? I just thought of something. He was just given a new bed. Given a new bed. Still in the garage. Why is that, Chris? Were you giving away a bed in the house? He's got a thing for beds. That's what I'm wondering. Oh, yeah. And remember, he told us with his own words, he will throw Sebastian's stuff out. He was giving us parental advice. Giving us parental advice. They don't clean this. You bag it up. You put it in a bag and you make them, meaning the child, he says, take it out, throw it in the trash. Yes. Yeah. Listen, we all are telling our kids to clean their rooms all the time. All the time. All the time. But then I have to remind myself this, that as long as it's not too crazy in there, in their bedroom, then it's their space. It's still their space. It's their space. And sometimes you just close the door. You don't got to look at it, right? That's kids. But you don't bag it up and throw it out. Kids are little human beings that grow up into be big human beings. Exactly. Exactly. That's what he does with wives. Yeah. Bags them up and throwing them away, pretty much. Yep.
I mean, the look on his face was like a deer in headlights. And he dropped the bed right there in the front yard, went back in the front door, slammed the door and locked it on my kids. And my mom told me at that point, she said, I can't believe he's doing this. Like, what is he doing? So I go in and I unlock the door and I said, what are you doing?
Screaming here, Carla.
I said, are you giving away my stuff? And he had nothing to say. So he brought the bed back in because I knew that's what he was doing. And, the neighbor across the street, like I said, told me. So we stayed there. It was super uncomfortable. My mom felt the tension between the both of us. My children felt it as well. And at the time, Faith started moving. Like I could start, I felt her moving around in my stomach. And I told Christopher, I said, look, I said, put your hand on my stomach. I said, can you feel her move? He said, no. When you're pregnant, you always think that your spouse is going to be super supportive and be super excited that you're pregnant and bringing a life into this world for him.
You would
right?
think.
But I didn't get that. I didn't get that support that I needed. So, we had
It's amazing that a man can lay down with a woman and want what he wants. But once some men, very few, thank God, I guess, get their wives or their girlfriend or whoever pregnant, they don't want nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with the child. That's part of it. Just part of it.
Like a conversation my mom brought up between Christopher, myself,
Mm.
and her. And she had said, do you not want Faith? Like, do you not want this baby? And Christopher stated to my mom he wasn't happy. And he said, what if one of them dies? What if Faith dies or Nina dies on the table, or when she's having this baby? Like my mom said,
Why
don't
would he
talk like
say something like that? Why would he say something like that? Who says that?
that. Like, why are you talking?
Is he capable of loving? I wonder if I honestly wonder if some people are capable of loving others other than themselves.
Like that? They're still here. So we left again after a couple days. We came home
He did
to Albuquerque,
not want domestic.
and still I tried working it out
I love that, Lucy.
where we were at, but it just wasn't working.
And her scars into stars.
I wanted out. And I had Faith on my own.
Mm-hmm. Said her or
Christopher
Faith.
called the hospital. I told him on June 1st that I got admitted into the hospital. And Faith arrived like at June 2nd.
Well, Lake Superior, he says that he has good relationships with all of his ex-wives except for one. Mm-hmm. They're your ex for a reason. I mean, some people get along with their, after they divorce or before they're married, they get along fine, but something happens when they're married. It's weird. But I bet not as well, 77. I bet not.
Second, like about 3 or 4 in the morning. And he kept calling the hospital and saying that my wife is in labor, she's there. But Christopher was just so rude and hateful and he wasn't even there.
He's a grandiose narcissist. If you've met one, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then he arrived.
I think he was very much taught and genetically.
Arrived a couple days later after I had Faith. And he was, the doctors and the nurses there were on high alert due to the fact that they heard Christopher over the phone on how he was being disrespectful to the nurses that were on call that night, as I was waiting to have her. And I asked that they not give him any more information. So he arrived. I had Faith. He arrived a couple days later, like I said. And you could just tell the look on his face, like he wasn't happy at all.
So Sebastian is 15. And so it's been, what, 6 or 7 years? 7 years? Something like that? Seems like Katie was all buddy-buddy with Chris's sister and Mom Kathy just fine. Poor Sebastian. Makes you wonder. PG, Chris seems to be seeking humans to abuse, not create a loving family with. and the woman he meets do not have a clue how evil he is until they're married to the butt wipe. 7 itchy years. You wonder, some people just change as soon as you marry them. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, if someone told me they have been married 5 times, I would be like, I mean, I would see, a stop sign from the heavens hit me on my head. That's how quick I would see it, personally. I'd be like, okay, so your boyfriend, just boyfriend material. You're not marriage material. That's in my opinion. No, no way. No way in hell.
Like,
Run.
didn't say, hey, you did a good job, didn't say, I'm so happy that you brought my daughter into this world, like nothing. And I remember my sister was
For real.
holding Faith, and she
I
had
got
to ask Chris,
food in my teeth.
do you want to hold her?
My husband was
He said,
friends.
I guess.
Was friends with.
So she
We both
handed her over to Chris.
pray for them nightly, as she said.
And
Still friends with his ex. Oh, that's sweet, Donna.
he stayed there with me for a couple more days because I had a C-section. And
Oh,
on one of the
I'm
occasions,
sorry, it is what it is.
I can't recall what was happening, but he was raising his voice and he was talking to me very disrespectful in front of one of the nurses. And she had told him, look, she just brought life into this world. She just got major surgery and you're yelling at her.
It has to be bad. It has to be real freaking bad for the nurse to be like, cut it out. Stop talking to her like that. She just birthed your child, had major surgery, and you're talking to her horrible. Had to be real bad. Sometimes people ask, why do you stay? Just leave. Or why do you put up with that crap? It's not that simple. Only those that have lived it know the complexity of trying to leave. Absolutely, Chaz. It's not always that easy, especially if you don't, mainly, it's usually because you don't have the support system. It's you, especially if you don't have the support system, right? And it can boil down to financial support, emotional support. You really got to have the support. Um, and if you've made kids with them, it's really tough, very tough.
And I have a problem with that. She said, if you continue to do this,
Trapped.
I'm going to have to tell social services to come down here. And I'm also going to have to ask you to leave the hospital and not return. So at that point in time, he kind of calmed down after he heard that. But unfortunately, that didn't last very long.
It never does. It never. They'll say, oh, I'm going to change. Oh, I'm going to change. I'm going to change. They'll change for a minute. But what do they say? A leopard don't lose their stripes, right? Or their spots. Oh, I completely believe her. Completely believe her. Absolutely believe her.
Continue to do that. So
1000%.
social services at the hospital was told to come down, and he was pretty much, she said, you can't do that here. And she was really concerned for my well-being at the time, and also Faith's, because here is Christopher, dictating and telling me what I can and can't do, and telling the nurses to do their job correctly and all these other things, and raising his voice at me, and
telling the nurses to do their job correctly. Oh my God.
so they had to step in. And so she said, this is it. Like, you're gonna have to leave the premises. And and he got a little upset, and he's like, no, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna be good. So they said, okay, but we're
watching. You see, the thing is, Chris, if you notice, the nurse challenged him. Okay, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. You see, he's capable of toning it down. But like I said, they never do it for too long. Just, on Nancy Grace, it was, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
watching you. We're watching you. So after that, we had left. They discharged all of us
They
from the
left. From
hospital.
what I understand, Donna.
And he didn't want to stay at my parents' house because
Yep.
my mom and dad live in a trailer, and he doesn't like that.
Material. See, he doesn't like them simply because they live in a trailer. You don't have what I have. Less than me. That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. Chris's mother sells houses, right? So everything's got to be what it is. But yet he stays in an RV park now. Ain't life a bitch? Oh my God. He thinks everyone is beneath him. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said, you heard him say it. When he does it, he goes all out. His words. He goes all out. Yeah, and you go in depth up to your ass. Chris reached out and wanted to FaceTime with Chris M on Messenger. Yeah, we talked to him the other day, and I asked him, I said, and he said he would talk with Chris M. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Chris actually thinks he goes away with his tail between his legs. It never works out for him, right? Like every interview that they have done seems to get worse for them. Right? But I think he thinks he's going to convince someone that he's not this way when you can see it with flashing signs blaring at you. Even his own words. I mean, I don't know how do you convince someone that a 15-year-old boy walked out of the special needs, walked out of the house when it's cold outside at night with no shoes. He's seen going in the house, but not seen coming out. Never done this before. You hear sounds in the bedroom, but you don't check on him. But yet he has like some pocket in his brain. He used to have seizures and you don't check on him? I mean, who are you trying to convince here? I just cannot believe that. We see this stuff all of the time in true crime. And people will look at you and swear to you. And the next thing you know, the cuffs are on. Not a sign. Not a sign. The best technology. 1,500 people on the ground. Over 2,000 square miles searched. Not a scent around the house. Nothing. How far could have he walked off? Being cold and no shoes. How far could have you have walked off? 2,000 square miles is pretty big. I can't believe that. He didn't walk off. You would have seen somebody would have seen them on on the camera on that road. Yeah, a thud, not just a sound. Yes. Below freezing temp? Yes. Miss me with it.
It's a house, right?
No way.
Still. So he rented a room at Kirtland Air Force Base, and they have like lodging there, which is like a house, old base housing, and we ended up getting one of those. And we stayed there for a while. I remember one night in particular where we all had went out and got something to eat to bring it back to the room. I had went into the restroom, I believe that.
I don't know. Jules, I don't know. A lot of people saying check that RV, check that RV. I would think they have checked it, and that the RV had been at the house, like it was there the next day, but that's when he went, or the 2 days after Sebastian went missing. That's for sure, lean on me. That's for sure. I suppose they didn't check the TV. I don't know.
That's where I was at, and Faith was in her car seat, and my oldest daughter was in the living room with my son and Krista.
We got to remember, he's former military. He's also a perfectionist. Now, when you're when one is hiding someone, they're normally obviously panicking. The average person is 2 to 28 miles away, dumped, when they dump someone's remains. 2 to 28 miles away. But Sebastian could be in Mississippi. It's not that far. That's where he's been staying. Chris. Someone knows where he's at.
Differ. Well, anyways, my I guess I wasn't moving fast enough for Christopher, but the baby started crying. Faith started crying, and she's crying, and I'm trying to get to her as fast as I can. And when she was in the car seat, my oldest daughter at the time witnessed this with my 3-year-old son. When she was in the car seat, he ended up hitting the car seat against the wall. And he's getting upset because she's crying. And then when she was in her car seat, there was a coffee table right there, and he ended up tossing her on the coffee table with the car seat because
I knew this story last night. Trevor told me, and I was just like, that's a baby he did that to. She's claiming that he did that too. And I believe her. I absolutely believe her. Tossing. Let me just say this. Think about this for one moment. Chris did this to his child. What would he do to his stepchild? If he would do this, what she is alleging, to his child, baby, what would he do to his stepchild? Especially maybe one that needed a little bit more care, a little bit more assistance. Did Justin freeze or is it my phone? I don't know. Did I freeze? I'm frozen. Perfect. Am I still frozen? Okay. All right. Unbelievable.
he was so irate that she was crying. And I said, hey, I said, what's your problem? I said, what are you doing? Like, she's a baby. She's going to cry.
Thank you, Misty. The mocking of Sebastian's voice on Nancy Grace, spanking story. He did, yes, Sebastian's voice as if he was annoyed by the way Sebastian talked. I said the same thing, girl. The same thing. I blame Katie for allowing Sebastian to be abused, and it's so obvious. Chris snapped. I agree. Because after he mocked Sebastian, And then he's like, okay, Sebastian. He kind of rolls his eyes, okay, Sebastian, and talks in a real sarcasm. And I thought, oh, oh. This is what you're telling someone you want to believe your story. And you're telling us this. That's the public self, right? Mask slip. But I also think that I don't know. Katie's just a yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? Katie, when she said Sebastian will get up in your face, he'll get up in your face, Sebastian. How do you think Chris would take that? You think Chris would take that good? I can't imagine Chris taking that very well. Mhm. He wouldn't have taken that very well
I wish I would have just.
at all.
I wish I would have never met him. I'm sorry. I should have left a long time ago. Because no children ever deserve this. My kids didn't.
CP admitted to whipping an autistic child who wasn't his with a leather belt on national television. Can you imagine what was going on? Likely way worse. Exactly. Exactly, Amy. Yeah, Alicia, I heard that. I heard that. But I wonder, are they telling the truth to him? You don't believe Sebastian went home after dinner? I mean, the neighbors say that he's on there at the trash can. That is true. That's how you properly sell Sebastian. Sebastian.
So he left again to San Diego. A couple days went by. Then all of a sudden he's like, well, why don't you move to Hendersonville? And I was like, why though? In my head.
I know,
And I knew it
Annabelle.
was a bad idea. I
Bad.
just knew it. I knew it.
It's really
Because
bad.
our marriage was on the rocks. I wasn't happy. He wasn't a good father figure to my children. I don't know why I said yes. Well, anyway.
I honestly wonder, guys. I wonder if Sebastian isn't found. God, I hope he's found. I agree, Karen, too. It was Melody. What was that? Yeah, it was just Katie and Sebastian eating. They saw him on the outside of. They didn't see inside the restaurant. They only saw on the outside.
Anyways, before, so let me back up. So before he left back to San Diego, Faith was Faith ended up going back into the NICU. She ended up getting jaundice and she went back to the NICU. So she was in the NICU, I want to say for a week to a week and a half. And that was when Kathy, Chris's mother, came out, flew down with her brother, Duran guy, or they call him Big D. They came down, and she was in the NICU. And that was when I felt like a plan was made, because like I said, our marriages it was on the rocks. And one of my neighbors had told me in San Diego,
Really
they
is it
had
though?
warned me. They had said, Dina, be careful, because Christopher is coming up with a plan with his mother. And they're planning on taking the baby away from you. And I was like, what? Like, thinking to myself, it can't be true from somebody that's supposed to love you, right? Like somebody that you're supposed to share your life with. Like, why would he want to take the baby away from me? And she warned me. But I was like, no, why would they do that?
I don't know if we know what TBI
So then
believes.
after Faith got out of the NICU,
We cannot say what TBI believes. We just cannot say because we're not in there. We cannot say what TBI believes. We cannot say what police believe. Can't say that. They do what they have to do to get the answers that they need. Yeah. Yeah, but Seth is doing what he has to do right now. I do know that. I do know that. Yeah. I get what he said, Elisa. I get what he said. But nobody. Seth said they didn't tell him anything about the investigation. Nothing. Why aren't they pressing Katie or Chris? I don't know. Don't know. I have no idea. Why don't the TBI press Don and Candace? I mean, there is literally 5 or 6 high profile cases right now in Tennessee. Not a fucking one is solved. Not one. Not the evidence, but they did say they have no evidence of foul play. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. That's what I'm worried, just chilling. It's what I'm worried about. Seems like if you want to unalive someone, Moved to Tennessee. He does not think that, Alicia. He does not think that. That I can tell you. He says that.
Thank you. We were no longer staying in base housing. We were staying at one of the NBC suites down here. Or then his mom came up with an idea. She goes, "Well, since you guys, will be moving to Hendersonville," and I was like, we kind of, I felt like, okay, well, maybe. And he's like, "Well, you'll get help. You're going to get help from my family," and but I was already getting help here from my parents, with my other two children that they helped me raise. So,
Well, I mean, I think either way you have to search. I mean, you have to search either way, whether it's foul play or it's not foul play. You have to search. We're at over a month. We're at over a month. This means factually, logically, either he is with someone or it's not good, right? Yes. Yeah. Haunted housewife. Thank you so much. Trevor stated in a live he was on shortly after this aired that Nina told him after this interview that Faith saw Chris hit Sebastian in the face. And absolutely. And there should always be hope until we have an answer, right? There always has to be hope for a parent. Oh, absolutely. Y'all didn't know that? Yeah. Yep. And she wanted people to know that. Faith saw Chris, her dad, hit Sebastian in the face, is what she's alleging. Now, something is wrong here, people. Something is real freaking wrong. Elisa, it feels that way. It feels like they're just. We'll see. We'll just have to see. I don't know. I don't know. I swear, if they don't find Sebastian and there's not answers, this case is going to be. I just cannot. I don't know if I can ever do another child in Tennessee. I would be fucking packing my bags if I lived in Tennessee right now. I'll be honest with you. I would be like, if I had kids, I'd be like scooting out. Sorry. Hit the gas.
that I went along with. It was wrong to go. Still went, hoping that my marriage would work out.
Oh, it is Trina.
So she ended up taking Faith, although I was against it. Kathy Bowers Hawks and her brother Duran ended up taking Faith.
Oh.
And my mom and dad
Kathy.
were like, my mom started crying and she goes, "Why are you letting them take the baby?" And I said, because Christopher said that it's going to be too hard for her to travel, you know, to travel. And oh, I'm sorry. They went back. So Kathy and Big D went back to Tennessee. So 2 weeks later, about 3.
No, Daily, listen, I like Tennessee. Like, I love the people of Tennessee, and I like things in Tennessee. But damn, hey Goose, all these other people, shit, they're solving, you know, they're solving in other states. It's like fucking Tennessee, man. Chloe, thank you so much. I cried through her story. It gives us a glimpse into how sadistic they are, how bad they both are. I agree. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. I mean, if he walked off, hold on, I'm gonna play this for a second. I'm gonna show you
3
something.
weeks, maybe 3 weeks later, Kathy ended up coming back by herself. I do apologize. She came back by herself to pick up Faith. She was here in Albuquerque for one night, and I was, even though I was against it, I let her go with Kathy, because Christopher said it was going to be too hard to travel with her being a new baby. So he came out from San Diego, rented a U-Haul, packed all our stuff, and we pretty much left. And that's how I ended up in Hendersonville, Tennessee. That's when my whole life changed. That's when
hell happened for her. This is just part of the map. If he walked out of that house, why isn't there any surveillance? How do you float out of a house and get by every camera in the neighborhood barefoot and get by helicopters, 1,500 people working, trying to find you, drones, the best technology? How do you get by that? How do you walk past that? Zero footage of him leaving. Like, I'll wait. Please, someone enlighten me. People on horses, four-wheelers, everywhere. It can only be you were taken out somehow. No footprints. Nothing. And Tennessee's like it is here. Even when it's not raining, it's still moist. I'm sorry for people who hate that word. Right? There's always going to be mud. How does that happen? Look at this. Look at this map. I mean, this is gonna, I do not want this to turn into a Summer Wells 2.0. I cannot do it. It's 26 here in Tennessee when it was supposedly happened. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You work for a freaking security. You have a $600,000+ home. You work for one of the top security companies in the nation, in the world. You don't have a damn security system. You don't have a camera, but you have a van full of equipment in your driveway. What the hell? So did Barry Morphew. All of his cameras were off that day. Yeah, it's so convenient. They don't fall off the face of the earth. Someone is not being honest. Justin, his family's stalking and following them all the way to New Mexico. People that were searching for Sebastian were being followed. I heard that. They can get in trouble for that, I mean, intimidating someone. Chris's parents left for Alaska a few days after Sebastian went missing, drove in an RV. They drove to Alaska. Who the frick drives to Alaska? Sebastian did not walk out of the house. Diddy, Chris, and Kate. I don't know. It felt like a real fun day that day, though, didn't it? Sunday. Boy, they were living up the weekend. I would like to know. Do they usually do that on the weekend? Is that a normal weekend for them? And it's strange how it was just two of them at dinner. Summer had a fun day before she got gone too, Justin. Yes. Dinner for two. Katie and Sebastian. Painting up the town. Exactly. I don't know. Oh, it takes a long time to drive to Alaska because you're literally almost in freaking, well, I mean, Alaska's humongous. It's bigger, it's the biggest state in the United States. What happened to the cousins and aunts? Hell. This is so complex. Chris and Katie will say this in one interview and they'll say that in another interview. Has anybody checked the map from Chris's job to halfway from the Texas Roadhouse to the home? Just curious if you could have picked up Sebastian after. He was 3.5 hours away, Goose. He worked at St. Jude in Memphis. So he's 3.5 hours later. 3.5 hours away. Supposedly. Allegedly. What was his schedule that day? She got up at 6 a.m. on Sunday to get Sebastian up for school. Pixie, I wonder that, or if she's just brainwashed. I don't know. I really don't know. But I feel like she knows exactly what happened. I feel like both of them know what happened. Yeah, I would like to know. Nobody has. I need to ask him that. I don't know if he'll tell me. Chris, what did you do Saturday? What did you do Saturday? What did you do Sunday? What did you do all day Saturday and Sunday? Did you go to dinner? Did you go to lunch? Did you go to a gas station? Did you go to Walmart? That kid did not walk out of that house, in my opinion, by himself and missed every camera. Okay, how far could you walk being, having special needs in 26 degrees barefoot? How far could you walk before your feet froze off? I'll wait. I'll wait. Yeah, they have a garage. Yeah, Robin, he wouldn't have done that. I mean, think of your feet being in 26 degrees weather. Hold on, let me check something. It's 46 here right now. I had to run out to my car earlier. I forgot something. And I was like, damn, get inside. It's cold. It's like, no way in hell. Not a chance. My feet are cold. I'm frozen. I don't know, man, but this is crazy. This is crazy. Something is really wrong here. One second. Where's the volume? Oh, there's no such thing as loyalty. That's his bullshit beads. Um, 1 second. Now, WBKO News. Search for missing teen Sebastian Rogers called off after receiving threats. Yeah, it has a door right beside of it as well. Oh shit. Why did I do that? I mean, let me check this. I'm in every group that there is, I think. Bear with me, y'all. Trying to find something. I'm hearing that Sebastian was supposedly to testify or be questioned or something at the custody hearing between CP and Nina. You know something I just thought? Could reported. Yeah, I don't know if they are or not. Do you guys think that he may have not wanted Sebastian to testify over his court case because Sebastian, we heard it this evening. Listen to this. Because Sebastian, Nina said Sebastian allegedly saw. Oh, no, that would work the other way. That Faith hit, or sorry, not Faith hit, that Chris hit Sebastian. Faith saw it. What do you think about that? Faith said which is Chris and Nina's daughter, saw Chris allegedly hit Sebastian. Could it be because of the court? He didn't want that to get out? Did Chris get Katie to drop him off at his aunt's and they had him somewhere? See, I don't think with this much pressure he would have been found by now, right? You know what I mean? Found. They would have dropped him somewhere off. Wouldn't believe the child. I mean, I don't know. Did Chris sneak up on him like he would Nina? I don't know. That's very weird. Seth said if Sebastian told him what was going on, or he would have been made aware of the CPS case, which, again, CPS was required to tell Seth what was going on. Love you too, Miranda. But they didn't. Seth said if Sebastian had told him what was going on or he would have been made aware of the CPS case, then Sebastian would still be here. He's on it, y'all. He said the math isn't matching. Does anyone know if the area around the bridge in Gallatin, Tennessee, and the boat ramp area? I guess they mean it. Does it mean it? Is it searched? Cajun Navy 2016. It amazes me that some organizations say that they have all the boots on the ground and there is nothing going on or no proof of their efforts to show for the large amount of donations they have collected. Excuses aren't always true. We've learned that while doing rescues during Harvey, when someone said that people were shooting at the Cajun Navy, those pew-pews were never heard in that area. It was a diversion. When multiple news agencies interviewed our CEO asking us if we were leaving because the so-called pew-pew shots, his reply was, and I quote, hell no, we are staying until the last person's out of the water. We have GUNS too and know how to use them, end quote. This is who Cajun Navy 2016 is as an organization. There's no smoke and mirrors here. Never has and never will be. Boy, they collected a lot of donations, didn't they? And now they're out of sight, out of mind, I guess. It is. It's absolutely illegal. It's absolutely illegal. And I hope Seth addresses that whenever, there's time. EquiSearch. I know EquiSearch was there for a moment, from what I understand.
From the chat.
This right here is my own billboard to find my son. People notice.
Bless Seth's heart. This is heartbreaking, y'all. We can see you. We can see you, my dear. I'm wondering if Chris or Katie didn't hit in the face in that pocket. You never know, Virgo. I mean, the first thing is we need to know how he either got out of that house or how he never made it to that house. I don't know. It's so damn frustrating. Give Sebastian the torch. Let's play hide and go see. I don't know what that means. Anyone notice say Seth, my son, and not our son? Interesting. Look at her.
My nightmare happened. We lived with his mother and his stepfather, Terry, for about a good month because our apartment wasn't going to be ready until the end of August, about the end of August. So it was really uncomfortable living there. You know, Terry and Kathy would always bicker at each other, and she'd be bickering with Christopher, and, you know, my kids were a problem. an issue. It was always something. I felt really uncomfortable and I wanted to come home. I just wanted to come home to everything that I knew. I wanted my mom and my dad, even though I was a grown woman. I needed that.
That's so sad.
So we all had to get along, tried to for the most part, but it was just an awkward situation. I always felt like we were the outcast. Never felt accepted by the Proudfits or the Bowersocks. On one occasion, Christopher was cutting my oldest daughter's nails and she didn't want her nails cut. And Christopher, grabbed a hold of her hand and she pulled her hand away. And my daughter at the time had braces. He backhand Isabel in the face and busted her whole lip open.
Listen to this. Oh my God.
I should have left, but I didn't. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't be here. I don't want to be here anymore. So I would come up with every excuse just to come home, but yet, I couldn't come home. So finally we went and
There's
moved
always got to
into
be
the
those.
apartment. And a phone call, like as soon as Christopher was leaving, he settled us in, got a storage unit of what couldn't fit in the apartment. He got everything ready, all right? Him and his family. Soon as he knew that we were comfortable, he left back to San Diego. But the night prior to him leaving, he had got a phone call or text message that night, and it said something like, hey baby, or around something like that, saying that when is your flight coming in? And I was like, what? Like, who's texting him? So I did confront him. And like he said on one of the podcasts is that I did slap him. Yes, I did slap him across the face because who's he
Do you blame her?
talking to at this time and saying, and he could say that she was lesbian, up and down, but at this point in time, I didn't know what to believe. And
Chris even blames the
was like,
lesbian.
okay. So then after that following day, he finally left. His mother came to pick him up to take him to the airport. And he went back to San Diego. And I was left in Hendersonville with 3 children and pretty much no help from anybody. So I have found a job. I had a job, and Kathy helped once in a while. And I needed to find a babysitter. So his biological father, Michael, and his stepmother, Linda, at that point in time offered their services and said that, they can take care of my 2 older children. And Kathy didn't want Faith going over to Michael's house. So she took care of her. And At that point in time, Christopher, we were still communicating. And like I said, our marriage was on the rocks. So my oldest daughter had gotten sick and she has upper respiratory issues. So I took her to the emergency room in Hendersonville, and that's when Hendersonville transferred her to Vanderbilt. Is that what I believe
I don't
that
either.
hospital's name
Something.
is? And
Listen, if let's say, for instance, Chris was not there when it happened, he needed help or she needed help. She could not have done this by herself, in my opinion. Nope. Couldn't have done it by herself.
And I was kind of frantic because I was like, well, what am I going to do with my 3-year-old son and with the baby? Like, who's going to help me? So I was, I called Chris and I told him, I said, hey, I said, can your mom watch, Faith, or can somebody help me? Everybody was so quick to help me at that point in time. So Faith stayed with Kathy and
That
Noah
makes sense,
Bryce
Arctic.
went with his sister Melissa. And I went with my oldest daughter. We got transported downtown. And so we stayed there. I can't recall how many days we were there. And Christopher had, I'd check on the kids, see how they were doing. And that point in time, I was like, okay, well, we got.
That's the thing. No known car except the trash truck. We just don't know. We just don't know what cars anyone has went up and down that road. I mean, you can't tell me from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. there was not one car that went in outside of that neighborhood for 9 hours. Not one car. No. Nope. We just don't know what they have. We don't know what they have. We do not know what TBI has. We have no clue. That's why they waited to call 911. Well, we know Katie left. Yeah, law enforcement, they're not going to tell us or even Chris, Seth, Chris, Katie. They are not going to tell them anything about the investigation. They're not going to tell any of us anything. I know. They're making us all nutty. It's making us all nutty. Who is this Chris Proudfoot? He is the stepdad to Sebastian. Yes. Baby kisses, I wish. I hope. Oh, Blue Eyes, honey, we're praying for you. You be careful. You keep us posted, okay? Praying for you and your mom and your family. I'm sorry. It's terrible. Speak up also, I feel you. I don't know. I mean, nobody can convince me personally that there was not a car on that road Well, we know there was a silver car on the road, some silver car, because they were wanting to. The TBI was asking about what were they asking about? The if there was an Uber. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. It's crazy. There's no more searching. It's crazy. Oh, thank you, Darcy. Thank you so much. I've got a gifted membership thingy now. Watch this.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Giving to the lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Uber is so traceable to well, they didn't say it was an Uber. They asked, the TBI asked. That's loud. Perfect. Perfect. Sorry. Yeah, that's the gifted memberships now. I may get a super chat one, but thank you. I can tell you at 6 a.m. it's busy as hell in that neighborhood. Yeah, everybody's going to work. Right? I mean, if you live in a neighborhood like that, you got to pay for that house. You got a mortgage. Yeah, baby kisses in the very beginning. They was asking about they thought they wasn't asking specifically about an Uber. They was asking what did Trev say? If it may have been an Uber, maybe. Do they need warrants for the landfill to search? I believe they did get warrants for that. Yes. Yeah, they would need a warrant to search. Oh, it's Sunday. Yeah. That's true. No, it was Monday, Green Eye. It was Monday morning, 6 a.m. Good night, Elisa. It's 6:30 in the UK, Joanne. Oh my God. That's crazy. And ironically, there was a garbage truck. Man alive. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I'm so frustrated. I can't even sleep. 2:30. It's 2:30 here. I need to go to bed, but I know I'm not gonna be able to sleep. Those two need question individually. I'm sure that they have, but also you don't have to answer questions. That's the thing. You do not have to answer questions. I just cannot believe that a 15-year-old walked out barefooted, and I won't. Seth said the timestamp was stuck at the same time on the security footage. Yeah, for the trash truck. Is that what you mean? It really is, Danielle. Yeah, the trash truck, it wasn't actually 3:30. Trash trucks have two headlights. Listen, I mean, the media said, look at this person moving this way and look at this person moving this way. And this person seems to go back in the house. And now you're telling us it's a trash truck? Seth won't speak to Nick again. Well, I know Chris won't either because Chris is mad at him. Yeah, it did have bushes or trees in the way. Oh, Chris was mad this evening. Yeah, I haven't finished watching it. No, stay with me. I have pregnant insomnia. I gotta be up fairly. I got 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got to be somewhere. I don't know if the trash truck has lights across. So if it was the trash truck, then that means it had to be there at 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock. No, so a woman who lives in the same city, she says trash trucks will not start at the earliest at 5 a.m. Thank you, Christo. Now, the city says 6 a.m. I don't know. It's like everything we thought we knew is up in the air again. No, he was calling. Most places, yeah, have a noise ordinance, yeah. I guess, Lori. No, but he called one of my mods this evening. Nobody answered. He called Trevor. This evening right before Trevor was going live. The camera that took the footage is clear down the street from their home. It's on the corner and high up. That is not their backyard at all. So if that is true, Elisa, then wouldn't they have better footage of a trash truck? Thank you, Daily. What was he saying? Oh, he did. Well, nobody answered. That's the thing. Coexist. Nobody answered. One of my mod didn't answer. Trevor didn't answer. Speak to another man. Well, he to speak to Trevor, But yeah, now he's not really talking much. Like, you can text him now and he doesn't really. It's usually like an LOL, like if I text him, or no, yes, whatever. Yeah. Um Actually, when we were talking with Chris probably 4 or 5 days ago, we asked him, we said, "Would you talk to Chris?" And he said, "Sure." And I thought, is he just saying sure, or does he actually mean it? Is it sure, like, yeah, you'll take a lie detector test, or is it sure you really will? Well, he says things and he doesn't mean it. I think so, Lisa. Hmm. Yeah, I think so. I'm getting JSB vibes. Hold on one second. What do you mean Trev is streaming? Oh, he's almost up to 9,000 subs now. I'm glad. He is such a good person. Oh, thank you, Missing PWN. I don't see him talking to Chris Im at all. I don't either, but I would love for him to. She really was tortured. Boy, I bet all of law enforcement on Summer's case are thankful. Well, I mean, look, we've got 5 really high profile. Yeah, Mike, I'm getting ready to end it in just a minute. But like 5 really, really high profile. Who's done the best interview of Chris so far? Is that okay to ask, Justin? Absolutely. I think Nancy Grace, in my opinion. Trevor's not live. He's not live. Darcy, I worry about his ex-wife. I think Chris is probably angry. I think he is too, but um oh, thank you, Arctic. Appreciate it, honey. Um I don't know. I think Chris has his he's up to his eyeballs right now. And I mean, I'm sure he's mad right now because of the interview Nina did, but she also told him that this was coming out. Hey, Sonia. Yes, I think she is in danger because he knows he's caught. So there's no telling. Oh, he is steaming. He is. Yeah, don't do it to people. You know what I mean? Well, especially in Tennessee. Especially in Tennessee. Can you imagine how Seth feels after the ex's story, especially? I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I was Seth, it would take every fiber of my being not to go seek out him. You know who? For doing that to my kid. Can you imagine someone laying hands on your kid, much less a child that needs more assistance, doesn't understand? Oh. Hmm. You just don't touch somebody else's child. You just don't. Tell you that right now. That's a no. Seth is very classy. Seth told someone today that he has 4 private eyes. Well, see, Seth said he's running his own investigation. Remember, Seth does what he does as a profession. I don't know, guys. Just pray. Just pray that this is wrapped up soon. He's found. Justice is served. If we could get him in a room alone, CP would not do well with Seth. I agree with that. It's good to know that he got to see him. I think that was Seth's. That was a big worry of his. It was he okay after he left my house? Like, did he go missing before that? That took a lot of. I think that lifted his spirits up a little bit. I don't know. Me too, Jules. Thank you all. Good night, everyone. Poor babies, man. We'll go over some of this tomorrow. We've got a lot to talk about tomorrow. A lot. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. You're absolutely welcome. I mean, fair is fair. And it wasn't fair that you were blamed for being Chris. I know you're not Chris. So you're always come in, you're always respectful, you're always nice and kind. And I appreciate that. So I'm definitely going to take up for you when someone goes and says the wrong thing. It says the wrong thing. All right, guys. Good night. God bless. Get some rest. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.